So my name's John Binns. I'm a criminal regulatory lawyer and my specialisms include cannabis regulation. Cannabidiol, or CBD, is really big business in the UK, and it's managed to do that despite the fact that it's a legal grey area. Famously, it's one of the ingredients of cannabis, but it doesn't have psychoactive properties unlike tetrahydrocannabinol or THC. If you look at the Misuse of Drugs Act, cannabis itself is a controlled drug, THC is a controlled drug, CBD isn't. But that's not the end of the story, because a lot of CBD products do in practice contain some THC. What most countries do to deal with this issue is have a percentage threshold, something like 0.2%, 0.3%, and say that if the THC is below that, then it's not controlled. The UK doesn't do that, and so you do have this problem that a lot of CBD products, if they contain some THC, are controlled. What the retailers do to get around this in practice is look at provisions in the Misuse of Drugs regulations about exempt products. What these say is that it's not an offence to deal with products that contain a little bit of controlled drugs such as THC if it's below 1 milligram in the container, the product itself, which is in practice those little jars of CBD oil or similar. But there are also other criteria that it needs to fulfill, namely that it can't be designed for the administration of a controlled drug to a human or an animal, and it can't be, the controlled drug shouldn't be extractable by readily applicable means or in a way that is a danger to human health. The jury is out, figuratively speaking, on whether these provisions really work for CBD products. It's not being litigated, the guidance isn't terribly clear, but nevertheless that's allowed this industry to grow in a way that's really impressive, but also a challenge, I guess, for law enforcement in knowing what to do with it. My guess is that before too long the law will be clarified, either the regulations themselves will be changed or there'll be proper guidance to let us know what the rules really are. For the time being, I think most consumers are happy to buy CBD products as long as they're safe, that it wouldn't enter their heads that it was a controlled product, but there you go. We will see how the law gets clarified, and in the meantime it's an interesting area and one that I think is bound to be looked at in greater detail soon.